Okay, I want to go on recording evidence of how I'm misperceived in reality. Okay, due to having been being raped while asleep. I've been saying that I give the impression always that I'm pulling something over on somebody. I'm hiding something. I've got evil motives of one kind or another. I'm essentially the person, Harry Powell, who committed these grievous sins on me. The person who raped me, I'm him. And I am not him. I'm the victim, and yet I'm being looked at this way. And here's more evidence that that happens to me all the time, everywhere. Okay? Now, let me begin by saying that my wife is profoundly deaf and cannot talk. She's also foreign raised and born. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to talk about how, as a deaf person, even deaf people in America raised here have a problem with English. English is not the language of deaf people, okay? So somebody raised in a foreign land, like an Asian country with a completely different language, which in that country is not their language as well, you're going to come here to the United States and fit in real well with English. Wow, English is even harder for those deaf folks than it already is for the deaf people born and raised in America. Okay, now I hope I've at least sketched a little of what I'm trying to say over the last few sentences. Okay, so I have this wife who she's profoundly deaf. She cannot hear and she cannot talk either. The way I want to say that so that I'm not offensive to deaf people is she cannot make herself intelligible through the use of her voice. maybe she'll. Maybe if you're encountering her, you'll understand her if she tries to say, "How are you?" But that's going to be the extent of it. If you even get that much, and she doesn't even try. Okay, she's not even going to try to use her voice to talk. She can't. So this is a person that, let's face it, is fairly helpless in the everyday world that what deaf people call hearing people are in. Okay, now this is my wife. And I'm fluent in sign language, having learned it when I was approaching middle age. And, well, I have been the supporter of my wife across over 30 years of marriage when no one would hire her, not a single employer would hire her. No matter how hard she tried to get a job or I tried to help her get one, no one would hire her. Now, I've supported her without complaint. I've been her friend and supporter all these years. Okay? Uncomplainingly. I don't say, where's your money in our marriage? You didn't, you're not out working. Why aren't you? No, I've never done that. I figure the society that wouldn't hire her is wrong in what it did. If I'm angry, it's at them. It's not at her. I'm not angry at her at all. So I'm in this world and where I have been this person's salvation, so to speak. And here's what I encountered today. We go to the bank, okay, and we have an account together at that bank. And I never go in that bank myself. I let my wife handle these affairs. Why? Because the world out there doesn't allow her to do anything. So I allow her. I say, you be the one. You go in the bank and get the money out. So you know what? I don't even have a debit card to get money out of this account. Where's the money was coming from? From my job that I was working across the years. That's where the money for that account came from. My work at my job. Okay? So I don't even have a debit card, so I don't get money out of that account where the money I was making, I'm now retired, but I'm now getting pensions and so on from that job. That's where the money's coming from. Okay? And do I consider that it's my money? No, it's our money, my wife and mine, but I want to empower my wife and make her feel good about herself. So I let her go in there and do all these financial things. And as I say, I don't even have a debit card to get money out of that account. Like if I don't carry any money at all, ever. If I want money, I say, can I have some money to my wife? Give me $5. Now, this is an evil person that does this for my wife. When you out there, you wouldn't even hire her. Will you friend her even? By writing notes back and forth with her? No, you won't. So who is the evil one here? Me who's doing these things for my wife, or you and what you've done for this person? So we go in the bank. Today, for the first time, I go in that bank with her. Maybe I went in a couple of years ago. I rarely go in with her to do things like, if we need money, she says, we need some cash. I say, okay. She asked me how much, because we're watching our accounts on our ledger at home and so on. We decide, okay, let's take out so much money from the account. She goes into the bank and does that, or she goes to the teller and does that, not me. I let her do these things. Why? As I said, to empower her and make her feel good about herself. That's why. So, this is not a good thing I'm doing. Is that it? Somehow that's going to be misconstrued. I don't see how. So, today, because a large amount of money needed to come out of a savings account that I let her establish in her own name with money that's ours in our marriage, hers and mine. But I say, okay, she wants to feel that she's good at saving money and so on. She wants to have her own account and save money because I'm a spendthrift. No, I'm no spendthrift. Just because she wanted that. So I say, okay, make that account. I can't even, I'm not even, I don't have access to that account at all. However, we needed a car. We needed a new car. And to buy that car with cash, which I feel is the best way to buy a vehicle, pay full cash for that vehicle. Don't pay on installments monthly. That's a ripoff. You know, if I could pay for my house full out cash money, I would have done that. I can't. I never had that much money, so we pay mortgage payments each month. But as far as vehicles go, just about any time I've ever bought a vehicle, I paid full cash price for that vehicle. So I figure let's buy this car. And my wife suggests to me, hey, I've got a certain amount of money in this account of my own where I've been saving money. Let's use that money to buy the car. She knows we need the car too. Okay. So I thought, okay, great. So it's a lot of money in that account where she's been watching that account and saving the money. And so I go into the bank with her today. And what am I meeting with? I'm meeting with suspicious glares and ugly faces from employees in that bank. Like they're the best friend of this person. They're no best friend of hers. And I'm no enemy to be suspected this way. Okay, but that's what I meant with, and I'm a good judge of what I'm seeing in reality. And when I say that I met with suspicious looks and treatments like this by these employees in the bank, I'm accurate in saying that. So I'm saying, once again, the reason is that I'm regarded this way is because I was raped while asleep by your Mr. Popular out there. I call him America's Man of the Year, the man you were rewarding with success and honors of all kinds. And he was raping me at night, keeping me asleep with ether that he got from the hospital where he was a medical doctor, and male raping me. Okay? And because that happened to me, I'm regarded in this suspicious way. Everybody's looking at me. This is a flim-flam man of some kind. This is a serial murderer hiding murders that he's committed. This is somebody suspicious. We don't trust him. Okay? I'm saying that's come from what I just said several times by now. And today is more proof of it. So I go in the bank, and like one of the things the teller says, I said to her, as I'm there with I'm her husband, She says, I've never seen you before. This is the first time you've ever been in here. My God, man. The first time I've been in there because I want my wife to feel empowered. Whereas these people, they're going to hire her, friend her, and so they're going to do nothing of the kind. And they're her best friend and treating her supporter this way. They are wrong in what they've been doing to me. Okay? And continuing to do. However, I just want to speak out here, as powerless as I am, and go on speaking out against the outrageous injustice I've suffered in the United States of America. So, I made this recording. What good is it going to do me? I don't know. At least I've given energy to my anger, and maybe that'll be helpful to me in some way. And I've made a record, and I'm keeping an ongoing record of the hideous culture here that has committed these hideous crimes on me and is continuing in its hideousness across the years here all the way to the end of my life. I'm going to go on record against the evil that has done this and continuing to do this to me. Let me add this footnote to my discussion of how I'm being misperceived in regard to my wife when I'm her biggest helper. I'm her biggest fan, so to speak, and I come in for this super superstitious behavior from others. I've made recordings at other times where I've said, when I was taking care of our son when he was little and growing up, okay, I made sure that our son got medical attention whenever he needed it, okay? And so I was saying in one note, or a series of notes, that from the time he was born, man, I would take off from work and use sick leave of my own to take care of our son. I would go all the way home from downtown, get our car, get my wife and our son, and take both to the doctor with me because I wanted my wife with me as well. She's deaf, and I would interpret for her at the doctor's appointment. Anyway, I encountered from the doctor this super suspiciousness, like, he's a weird man. Well, now that I'm thinking about this, didn't think about this before, but I would go to the waiting room, right, of this doctor. There weren't any other men in there. They just weren't there. It was mothers with children. And if they had more than one child, they have the other children with them. There were no fathers in there with their wife to take care of the son. No. Well, were there other men in there with a deaf wife? Were there any deaf women in there at all, other than my wife? No, there weren't. So my wife, being deaf the way she was and foreign raised and born, has major problems of getting along in this society she's in due to communication problems. So her son this is one of her greatest achievements in life. Her son means everything to her. So I'm there at the very least as an interpreter for my wife. We couldn't afford an interpreter. I'm going to have an interpreter. Who? The doctor's going to provide one? No. So at the very least, I'm there as interpreter for my wife to serve my wife. I'm saying I'm a knight in shining armor for my wife. Glad to be. I am that. Yeah, I am her knight. So I'm there as interpreter for her, and I'm there for our son to make sure he gets medical attention when he needs it. So I'm going to look on this super suspicious way. Okay? So what did I say in this other note that I made on this subject? I said, as soon as our son could talk well enough to talk for himself, this means very young. This means like 3, 4 years old when a child can hardly talk at all. I said to the doctor, let him talk. You talk to him. Don't talk to me. Talk to him. Okay? And then I sat there quietly and interpreted whatever was said to my wife. So she would know what the doctor said and what our son said. I interpreted it into sign language. So she could ever find fault with me that I had in any way been abusive to our son? No, our son was afraid to talk in front of her. Look. No. Okay, so I'm now entering emotional blackout. I'm so upset by the reality I've encountered over the years. I now forget what the hell I was talking about. Let me put this on pause and try to recollect why I'm talking on this subject of being regarded. It's coming back to me now. Okay. I was saying I've been misperceived and looked on more than skeptically, like, who is this weird man? He's doing something wrong. Okay, so when I'm actually doing the opposite, I'm seeing to the care of our son. I had a doctor father and I didn't have a doctor at all. I didn't get medical attention like this at all. And then I got, oh my God, I don't want to go into it. Look at some of my other videos if you want to see what happened to me with the medical community. I'm getting angrier and angrier. I'm going to try, am I going to be able to remember anything here? Hold on. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm saying that I've been misperceived. And so, well, my wife has often complained to me. She says, people think that I'm just taking advantage of you. Okay, I'm taking your money. I'm taking advantage of you this way and that way. I don't have a job. I don't work. I'm taking advantage of you. And it's making her feel awful. So what do I tell my wife? I say to my wife, they're crazy to be saying that. I wouldn't even be alive without you and your support. No, you are not taking advantage of me in any way. I said, you are my salvation. Without you, I wouldn't be where I am. No, this is ridiculous. If you're feeling that way, stop feeling that way. And I do build my wife back up that way and get her confident. And as I was saying in another one of these notes, I was saying, to help build her confidence, I've done things like, you handle the money in our bank account. It's a mutual bank account. I got the money from job, my paychecks, okay? Do I go into the bank and get the money? No. I can't even get the money out of that account with a debit card because I don't have one. I didn't order one. I got a debit card from my wife and that's all. I didn't get one for me. So I don't even know the secret pass on her debit card for our account, my money from my job. Do I consider it my money? No, I don't. It's our money. I wouldn't have that job without her. I couldn't have continued in that job without her. I wouldn't have made it to retirement without her. So it's my money somehow? No. But in the world out there, I guess it's my money. Is that it? It's never been that to me. It's our money in our marriage, okay? The money goes into that account that way, okay? I don't even know the secret pass on her debit card. So I can't run to that account. Oh, I'm going to get $20. No, I never do that. If I need $20, then I can't even think when I've asked for that much. The most I've ever asked my wife for is maybe $5 because we're going to buy something at McDonald's together. And she wants to pay cash. So she says, how much do you think we'll need for this? I said, give me $5. I'm going to get 2 hamburgers with lettuce and tomato added. This is a great thing with McDonald's. You get a hamburger, right? And they'll add lettuce and tomato. So you can get 2 hamburgers and a small coffee for under $5. We share the coffee. I got notes about this. So The most I'll ask my wife for is maybe if I said, give me $5. Do I ever go to the bank and get money out? Never. I never go to our teller machine and put it. I don't have a teller card to do that. Any money I get, I get from my wife, and like I say, I don't get money from her. So I'm out with charge cards. I'm doing nothing of the kind. Most of our money is going where? To the support of our son. That's where most of our money's going. Each month we're sending a lot of money to our son, and I'm thinking, is our son getting cheated the way I've been cheated in life? Is he getting set up and cheated? I'm starting to review that now, but for a couple of years since he graduated from college, we've been supporting our son to the best of our ability. Okay, what is this note about? The note is about my wife has told me that she's misperceived. She's made to feel like she's taking advantage of me by others, okay? So I just wanted to comment on that because I was saying that here I set her up. I set us up in a bank account to make her feel good about herself. And then when I go into that bank, I'm being treated with supreme suspicion. Oh, is this weirdo? You taking advantage of this deaf woman? My God, what is this? So, I'm realizing in the midst of talking here that I think I called the video where I was talking about that hideous America. Well, there's hideous America. It's not just for me, it's for my wife as well. And what's hideous about? Money. This is a capitalistic country, right? Based on money. And I'm saying its hideousness is based on money and where money's coming from and who's got it and who doesn't. It's hideous in that way. It's absolutely hideous. Well, there's my note. As I'm towering up in anger right now, I'm trying to get out of this note to relieve my anger.